I'm tired of my life, just let me fucking die. Yeah! Die, let me fucking die. Yeah! Yeah, 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 yeah. I remember I was at work and they were playing that song, and I sang the lyrics like that. Where you sounding like ad libbing it, where I'm sounding suicidal, and one of the one of the managers heard me and just stared at me and walked off. I was like, yeah, I mean, what do you want me to do? Um, I keep hearing that like homeless people are, I don't know, a problem, or people care about them but they don't, and I don't know. I've never liked homeless people. I remember back in my hometown when I was young in the 90s. We just had one homeless, from what I remember, just one homeless person in town called the Bag Lady. And we literally, you could say, oh, the Bag Lady. And she's just some old woman that went around with bags and set up a tent, wherever she was staying. And she just looked like dirty, like a witch or something. And I remember one time my brother and I were my younger brother and I were walking to the library, the public library, and we saw a tent in a parking lot, and we went up to it and we looked in there, and there was just like a few bags, and then there was like like a old shotgun looking like a musket, and you just hear her go, "Ah, get out of here!" She saw us like from behind the tent. We took off running. We were so fucking scared. It was all it was fucking scary, but yeah, that's me growing up. That's all I really saw with homeless people, and I know now they're kind of everywhere, especially like in California. Everyone talks shit about it, and Austin, right? They're all over the streets. Uh, I know every time I see a homeless person, I don't like giving them money. I'm a broke person too. I'm barely making it. I need to survive. I don't like giving them money, and I feel like homeless people always taunt me because I'm overweight. I remember one asked me for money, like pantomiming, oh, that he needed money, and I told him no with a head shake, and then you see him like pointing at me and then doing his belly all big, like calling me fat, and I was like, fuck this dude, this piece of shit, like fuck you. I don't know. I don't like that. And the problem with the homeless problem, I'll say, I feel like it could all be solved if we did okay. Like, I've never seen The Purge, but like the movie The Purge, where one day a year we're basically like allowed to kill anyone that's homeless, right? That's like out on the street, no home. So we kill them, and I think it'd be good because I think it'd be good for everyone because one, it's the same time of year, so anyone that's homeless has like basically a whole year to find a home, right? Like either get a job, get a job, or educate themselves, or uh, kind of build a relationship with maybe a homeowner so that they're able to exist there or live there instead of just squatting somewhere. They actually kind of have to work for it, and then if you are out on the streets on that day and you have no home, you can't prove that you are part of a home or own one, then I mean you die. You get strangled or whatever your method of murder is. And then I feel like it would help the community too, because how I know the plots of The Purge, like when people murder other ones, it kind of takes away a lot of stress. But I don't know. It's just a suggestion for me. I would not. I don't think that would make it past the Senate. Maybe it would make it past the House of Representatives, but I don't think it would make it all the way to the floor to really vote. It'd probably get filibustered at some point by a homeless dude just squatting for hours. Um, And I remember a point in my life where I would pick up hitchhikers. I think I've picked up a few hitchhikers in my existence, and this was around the time when I was, I want to say in my mid 20s, right? I was just like, hey, there's a hitchhiker. I'll pick them up and take them somewhere. And I remember one time picking up a Mexican dude, and I don't know Spanish. I know very little, but he was speaking it real fast and fluently. And I was like, okay, well, where do you want to go? And he kind of pointed. And this was in the day too, where cellular phones, they were kind of at the beginning of having really fast internet, so I could maybe use like a GPS, but that's about it. I couldn't really like Google search a lot. Like, you can use a specific GPS map, right? And so I remember him kind of telling me, "Oh, hey, go here, go there," and then I tell him like, "Well, I don't have very much money for gas. I can't really take you that far." And he pulls out this big ass wad of cash, like like a lot of cash. And in my head, well, you know how that is. Like, I quickly thought, "Oh my god, like I could just kill this dude and take all his money." He's got a shit ton of money. Like, but it was just a quick thought. It wasn't anything. I quickly, immediately took that thought out of my head and just gave him a ride wherever. I think he gave him like $20 or $40 for gas and whatever. But yeah, that was something. I remember giving another drug. I think she was like drug addicted. It might have even been a prostitute. I don't know, honestly. But I remember giving her a ride, and nothing really came of that. I think I didn't initiate that conversation that went into like, oh, hey, you want to pay for sex? I picked all the wrong dialogue options, but or maybe she just needed a ride. I don't know. And then a third time I remember, I was by a club, by a gas station, by a club, and this girl came out all skimpily dressed, and she was like, hey, my friends abandoned me, can you give me a ride? She was pretty drunk, and I was like, well, where do you live? And she's like, oh, pretty much on the other side of town. And I'm like, all right, yeah, since I'm trying to do my good deed for the day, or whatever my mindset was back then. And so I take her over there, and halfway there she puts her hand on my cock, and I'm like, whoa, hey, whoa, hey. I straight up went, hey. And she was like, oh, I'm sorry. I was all, whoa, look, I'm just trying to give you a ride. And she was like super embarrassed. I just like killed any like mood. Like, I think she just, I don't know, she just was all embarrassed. And then I got her home, and she's like, oh, hey, can I get your number? And I was all, oh, yeah, sure. And I gave her like a fake ass number. I don't remember what, like an old, like when I was a kid, home phone number. But yeah, she tried to, give me a hand job, I guess. And I look back on that now, as far as, when you're older and you're like, oh, what are my regrets in life? Oh, I didn't, kiss my cousin on the forehead. I haven't beat Paper Mario in the Thousand-Year Door. And another one of my regrets is I didn't get that hand job. Like, I wonder how my life would be at this certain point. The trajectory, if I had just let that girl jack me off in my truck. But I don't know. What can you do other than just move on? It is what it is, right? Oh, it is what it is. But yeah, I'm like today. I'm so. You ever eat so much the day before that you're still full the next day? Like, I ate so much barbecue yesterday that I'm still full like 16 hours later, and it doesn't concern me as much as it's like, man, I really like breakfast, so I wanted to eat breakfast, but I'm still full from the barbecue from last night. And I think I ate like ribs. I don't know if they were pork or beef. They were just fucking good. Some brisket and some sausage. I can't understand how people can't eat pork. Like, and I get if you're like a vegan, where you don't eat shit, or you're a vegetarian where you don't eat meat at all. But if you're gonna eat chicken and you're gonna eat beef, you might as well eat pork, right? Like, why would you consider the pig the dirtiest animal? And even in a religious sense, where Allah Akbar, I don't eat pork, or whatever. Like, pork's fucking good. Bacon is fucking good. Pork ribs are fucking good. What is it? Fucking pork chops are fucking good. I don't get why you're allowed to eat chicken, which, I mean, chicken's good too, but I'm pretty sure they're just as dirty as fucking pigs, and cows are just as dirty as pigs too. Like, I'm sure they're all equally dirty animals. Why would that matter? But I get it if you're vegan or vegetarian. Eating animals is disgusting, blah blah blah. And if you could eat, human. We've already talked about this. Yeah, I would eat human if it probably had barbecue sauce on it, seasoned like like brisket. Yeah, I could probably eat human. I would like to try baby hippo. I remember asking what are they called? A meatologist, a butcher. I asked a butcher, like, what would be, like, what's the finest thing of meat that you think would taste like the best, like, be the juiciest and be the best cut of meat that you could use in a dish. And he told me, I think baby hippo, it's probably just his opinion, but baby hippo would probably have like the the most meat and then the most fat, in kind of equal doses, to where, yeah, if you were to, of course, season it right and all that it would taste like really good. And I think I started that with, like, I think in Dallas they let you eat lion. And of course, I would try it. Of course, yeah, you could think morally, like, oh man, I wouldn't eat a lion or a giraffe or whatever. We eat deer. Deer are just as cute. Yeah, they're everywhere, but they're just as cute. People eat alligators, and I don't know how the fuck you eat alligator. They literally look bulletproof. Like, I don't know how you could fucking eat that, but I would eat a baby hippo if given the chance. And then I just feel like it wouldn't be as expensive, like when you're out there buying those really fancy cuts of meat. For even brisket right now is like really expensive, so I don't see why. I don't remember hearing hippos being an endangered species. Maybe they are. Again, I'm a piece of shit. I'm not like a person that knows really what I'm doing or where I'm going with anything. But yeah, I would definitely try those types of meat. Whatever. But yeah, I thank you all for being here again. I'm a piece of shit, and have a great day. Tip your bartender, right? That's like the nice thing to do. Tip them.